When I was about 18 years old, I joined the church and began attending an institute class. We had an amazing teacher. His name was Brother Chapman. Really cool guy. Was able to teach us important principles and keep us engaged. I had humor. He had stories, and it was just something that really helped me to grow my testimony as a new member of the church. On one occasion in his class, he was telling us that as a result of us growing up in the world, there is inherent truths that we have accepted that are really falsehoods. And in order for us to truly overcome the world, we would have to search out these false truths that we have just accepted in our lives and overcome them. And that principle has stuck with me ever since I've heard it. But it wasn't until I served a mission where I really understood what he was trying to teach us. I was a missionary for about 6 months, and I was talking to one of my ward mission leaders, and he was describing how he just can't understand how other couples fight and yell at each other. Me, growing up, my parents are divorced. My two of my sisters have been divorced, at least once, and divorce was just a part of my life growing up. It seemed almost like it was just a part of marriage, and that was for me. That was a falsehood that I just accepted, that I kind of took for granted as a truth, and it really isn't one. My brother housekeeper was his name. He was explaining that him and his wife, they never argue, and this was a complete epiphany to me. It's something that changed my life incredibly. It's changed how I live my life, changed the marriage that I'm in now, and it continues to help me to change to be the best person I can. I grew up with this false truth that divorce is just part of marriage, and it isn't. And it was an amazing epiphany for me to come to this conclusion, to realize that what I had just believed as part of marriage really isn't one. And I have a picture here of my wife and I when we were married at the temple, which is just amazing. It has changed my life to be married to my wife Ashley, to have been able to realize that we don't need to argue. And so before we even were married, we made the decision that we would never argue. It wasn't an easy thing, and it's still not an easy thing, but we made that decision. And so what I'm going to explain is a couple of the challenges, a couple of the things that we have done, and how we have discovered that this is a possibility, that we don't need to argue, we don't need to fight. And I was talking to one of my friends a long time ago before I was married,